7. It cuts across the same way. And the added 9. Now when you have an added 9th and you drop this finger to the second string, it will give you a minor chord. So major 7, 7, added 9, and when this finger is placed on the second string, you get a minor chord. So when you get the minor shape, it works everywhere. There's no way that you play in a different key where that shape you had will change for a basic minor chord. It will always be this. Anywhere you press. So I go back to the system. Major 7, 7, added 9, minor. Then we have the last one, which is the minor 7. You play a minor 7 by releasing your pinky. And I usually will use a minor 7 for my composition because it doesn't create tension. When you play a minor chord, you feel a lot of tension, but the minor 7 is more relaxing. Like you feel that the chord is very easy. It doesn't give too much tension. So major 7, 7, added 9, minor and a minor 7, all played in C. So with this, I've been able to find how many chords? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are 6 chord shapes that, as a guitarist, if you know these shapes, you can play any genre of music, being a jazz, blues, contemporary gospel, or whatever. Just these few 6 shaped chords can let you play and you sound very amazing. So I'll demonstrate with just a common progression. Maybe I'll play C major and D minor, and I'll use a relative voicings that I've talked about to demonstrate, and you listen to how the sound is. So for instance, C major and D minor. So as I said earlier, this will be used by choral musicians because they don't make use of those essays. They go straight to the triad shapes. So now let me add a major 7th and a minor 7th to the same voicing and see how it sounds. So a major 7. Makes the chord very relaxing. So now let's play a 7th on C and a 7th on D and listen to the voicing. So as a musician, you will choose the kind of chord to use based on the genre of music you are playing. There's no way you'll be playing a contemporary gospel that you play a chord like. It will never work in that system. But if you hear Joe Metal, Bononie, compared to Bononie or Bononie, the added 9 will sound more nicer than the others. But I want to give a cue. When you are using major 7s, you have to be very careful, especially if there's a vocalist, because the vocalist needs to be very technical about some of this. If they have no idea about how these chord extensions work, you'll be playing a note T. For example, you'll be singing maybe Nyame, which is Do note. So Nyame will fit. But if I play major 7, Nyame, I'm singing Do, while the extension for major 7 is T. So the vocalist have to go Nyame to make the chord relevant. Otherwise, that sequence will not fit. but you can play a seventh or a major chord safely. So major, nyame, a seventh, nyame, a befa, baonya kobo major seventh, nyame. You have to use the right voicing for it. So some of these few techniques are what. So with this there's 6 shapes chords that you can learn the shape and apply it in your songs, and it cuts across all genre music. There are other extensions, but because of our time, I can't demonstrate it all. So I'll go back to what we've done so far. Major, seventh, added ninth, minor, and minor seventh, all in the key of C. Okay. So now I want to talk about another thing. Something I call the anatomy of improvisation. So this has to do with what improvisation is all about, the things you have to know during improvisation. So anatomy is like you're looking at the skeletal function. What improvisation is looking at the raw aspect of it. And you have to know about triads, as I said, and know about those extensions, breaking beyond the triads, like the added ninth, major sevenths, and the others. So that is what the anatomy of improvisation is. I'll demonstrate a little and we will see. Okay. So, let me demonstrate with this because I have my looper stuck here. So, for instance, I play something like. What is just playing, what you have to do, I'm playing 1 and 2 and 5 at the latter part. So as a musician, with the anatomy, when you hear chord 1, you know that you are basically going to have do, mi, so as your basic triad voicing. So do, mi, so for chord 1, based on the triad sequence we had. So this is what you can use to improvise basically on that chord pattern of the 1. So anytime the 1 comes, you can play no. I'll just use chord 1 to demonstrate so that it will become clearer. So let's say I have just chord 1. So we're going to work with just the notes that are relevant in chord 1. So you have do, mi, so. You play within this sequence will fit into the progression. Now, let's work on the extensions I was talking about. So you can add an added 9 note to this chord by playing maybe. Which will give it a nice cardiology compared to the see how it also works. So for example, when you have two, you play the same, then you can add some of the extensions to it. So that is what the anatomy of improvisation basically is. I'll go to the next thing because we have a very limited time. So I also call something psychology of improvisation. It has to do with body language from a chosen note. Because if I play the same this progression, the psychology of improvisation works this way. If I play a note like, the expressions I show in my face would affect the tone that comes out of the instrument. Because if I play something like, this is a moody face, but when I play and I'm like, that expression on my face psychologically affects the tone that is coming out. Because if I play something like, and my face is like this, if I should smile, or it has an effect on my play system generally. So when you imply this psychology of improvisation into it, it helps in your play style. So I'll be playing that. It's not my face that is playing the guitar, but those expressions will add some beauty to what you are playing. So motivate you than just to be sitting in. So that is what basically the psychology of improvisation. I'll talk about the last thing and we are done. So some of the techniques you can use during improvisation. One is the slide. So slide simply means you just this same progression. If I should play the same progression and maybe I want to play a note like a 3 or a mi, and I do, it's just straight to the note. It's never the same as sliding the note like. This technique will sound nicer than doing. So the next one is called, the next technique is called hammer-on. So hammer-on simply means you are going to hit on the note that you want to express with the other finger. So like, hammer. That is the hammer on. So I'll demonstrate it. So I'll first do a slide and then hammer on. So a slide twice and a hammer on. Then the next one is called pull off. So with the same, you can go like slide, hammer on. Sound nicer than to do. So this technique, what you do is different from. And the next one is called vibrato, where you try to let the notes have a resounding sound. So a resonance, more like. So it's one of the things you can apply during improvisation. So it's different from or so. You hear certain songs like the solo is really nice, but you want, why can't I get the same sound? All this play a role. Then we also have the bend, where you hold a particular tone and stretch it up. So with this, I'll demonstrate all the others. So we have slide, hammer on, pull up, vibrato, bend. And the last one is called something I have personally added to the collections. So apart from the vibrato, you can have harmonics. It's also known. So maybe this note, you look for where you can find on the fretboard, touch it, and try to produce the same sound. If I remove my hand, so this is the same as. So it's like you imitate the sound, but it will not come out by sound like how bass guitarists do. That's how you create harmonics. Naturally on the guitar, the 7th fret, 12th fret, and sometimes the 9th fret, they have natural harmonics. But if you want to create your own harmonics, you touch the note, you look for a correspondent position, and you try. So it gives you your own. You can create your harmonics any way you want. The last thing I'll talk about, I call it pinch and screams. I have added it to my play because usually, so you can play a note. Then you try it like you are trying to pitch the note. Yeah, it's all part of the. And the scream has to. You just have to. Try to imitate something that is more like you are trying to scream. So these are the few techniques you can use during improvisation. All right. And the last thing is not very common on guitar, which is slap. Usually bass guitarists try to do that. You can try and slap your notes, which is not very common on guitar. So this is what I can share for today because of the time we are working with.